Hello and welcome to the next episode in the series. In the last episode, we learned how to debug our Behat steps and we removed password confirmation field from our registration form. In this episode, we should be adding the hooks for our scenarios to clear the database, because right now our tests are failing because the email is already used, and we need to have a clean database to make sure that we are running tests in the same known state as we run. So let's start doing that. Let's first close these ones as we don't need them, and we will need our database context. We'll be working on this one. So we will be clearing our data by executing queries through entity manager, and for that we need to have it first in our context. So we will actually construct our context with entity manager interface, and we just simply do PHP Storm can actually help us to initialize the fields. So this all looks good. Now the problem is that we need this entity manager to be injected when context is created, and to do that we can install a Symfony 2 extension which can inject dependencies of the services in our constructors. So first we need to install it. Composer require dev Behat Symfony 2 extension. Now what the extension is installed, we need to enable it in our configuration file. So you can open Behat, and this is our extension, so we can enable it with Behat Symfony 2 extension. And what this does, it allows us to inject the services into our constructor. So we need a database context, and in this case first we define the dependency. So we have entity manager dependency which is called $m. So we simply do m, and next we define the service we want to inject, but let's say we don't know how it's called. So we need to find it first. So let's do bin console debug container. This command gives us like everything we have, so all the services and parameters we have, so we can just look for let's say entity, and as you can see we have like doctrine RM entity manager, which should be the one we will want to add to our context. So let's we can do number 4, and yeah, it's just an alias for default entity manager, and let's display information for it. And as you can see, it is of class entity manager. So you could actually just inject one or whatever, but let's do doctrine RM entity manager. Let's go back, and this one is doctrine RM entity manager. Okay, we have a few one. Let's maybe just do the default one. It's quite nice. It says us to us what class it is. So now we should have entity manager in our context, and then we can add a step to which will clear the data. So we will go with public function clear data, and we define what this will be before this will be executed before each scenario. And let's say what the scenario should be targeted the database for this to be executed, because without this one it will be always executed before each scenario, and this target says what only if a scenario or feature has a database tag, it should be executed. So now we just run the query to just delete everything from users. Delete from bundle user, and just execute that query. Let's run Behat again. Okay, we have an error. It's line 18. Okay, we just missing a column for our context. We should fix this. Let's see. And have some error, but that's really hard to see, so let's okay. So I can tell what error would actually be the same one as it we haven't marked our feature with a tag, so that before scenario is just simply not executing. So we go back to registration feature, and you could tag our scenarios as needing database, but it's actually all feature in this at this point just needs database. We can simply just tag the feature, and this just adds a database tag to each scenario what is being run. And so let's do this again. Okay, yeah, just forget to do this am, but as you can see from error, our clear data function is being executed, so everything should work fine. And I think we still are getting some error, and yeah, actually our user is created successfully and we are confirmed. And if we check the database backup, it should contain nothing. It contains nothing because we have a scenario right here, and this one executes clear data before running. So even if this one failed or didn't finish our scenarios, even if we don't have any steps, are still being run and hooks keep running on. So if, for example, let's say this one failed and you wanted to see how the database looks, you just could make sure that there are no empty scenarios or any other scenarios that run after it, or you can just tell Behat to run only this scenario, and for that you need to get the line number of a scenario. So in this case it will be number 7, and when you run Behat you just say what run scenario and at line 7. So in this case this will run only this scenario. And now if you refresh you can see what it actually contains the entry created. Okay, this looks like it actually works. One thing I would like to change is this message. So let's go back to our authentication context. I just want to enable wrap to see everything in a single editor. So yeah, right now we just confirm what address is correct. I also want to assert what page contains text, which will be your registration is successful. That should be fine. If I run it again, it should fail. So the message is different. The message was not found on the page. So to fix that, we need copy the translations. So translations and force user bundle, force user and this one, and yeah, we have one right here. Of course, we could just do a search, and you could see it has two files, one which is at the cache. Actually just disable the cache. I think all var directory can be just simply excluded, mark directory as excluded, so we should keep it from finding things. Yeah, and as you can see, we can just create this file in our application resources, new file, and let's just create one translations, and this one would be called force user bundle, and then yeah, this is called the same as the original one, so it will overwrite those translations. You don't need copy paste everything, we're just changing a single entry, so this one is fine. Flash and user created, and we need to get our message. And now this should fix this step. Okay, so let's clear the cache. As you can see, you can put full commands, or can you just put part of the command, and if there are no duplicates for that command, it just simply executes the real command. So CC is actually clear cache. Let's run this again. And now it passes. So let's see. We have logged in. Your registration is successful. Everything looks fine. So the next step would be the logout, and what you need to do now, you can just clean up our scenario. We don't need to debug it anymore, and we have the last step which we need to execute. So it should have an option to log out, and for that we simply just check what logout is on the page. We could also like press that link and make sure it works, but the problem with that is what it is an action, and actions should only be done in one step. So we should only be done in one step. I'm sorry, in one steps. In one steps, you should only make sure that you got the output you wanted. So for that reason, we will simply just skip logging out and won't do that. And That step, I don't like it too much. Actually, it's the problem I'm having right now with it is what it actually kind of talks about UI, and for not every layer, like every implementation might need to have it. So for example, if we do an API and like for example JVT token based API or just API key based API, we don't really need to log out. We just because what you really do is just simply remove that token on your front end, or whatever you do with your token. So this step isn't the best one, but for right now, let's leave it. So we will actually just be finding a link element which has logout. Let's see if we have like a good selector to get it. Yeah, the problem is that it has no class ID or anything like that, making it a bit harder to find. But the Vim provides a lot of ways to look for elements, going through pages and doing similar stuff. So what we'll need is there are a couple selectors like CSS selector, which we use, and we can do XPath selectors, but there are actually named selectors, and the link should be making it much easier for us to find that link. So let's try to do it. So assert session, and we do element exists. We will be using named selector, and looks like we provide the selector name, which will be link, and then eval okay, and it looks like the value should be escaped. Okay, yeah, let's just do. Let's try first just simple logout, and I think the logout is a bit wrong one. Link logout not found because it's okay. We don't need this one. Yeah, because it should be with a lowercase, so it should be logout. So it finds our link, everything is fine, but to be on the safe side, let's just escape our selector to be on the safe side, and we can just refactoring extract it to a variable, this one, and variable will be escaping malware. And we will do we need to get our this get session, get selector handler, and XPath literal, this one, it just is deprecated. Why it's deprecated and what to use. Okay, looks like we can just simply pass unescaped voila with it. So even better. But let's see if yeah, fine. Let's just simply remove this one. It looks like we don't need it. So run the test again. And everything should be passing. Great. Okay, I think this will be for this episode. In this one we added before scenario hook to clear the data in our database, and we finally have a first passing scenario. So we actually making progress and in the next episode I think we will just simply finish doing our scenarios for registration and login, and then go do something else. So like the video, subscribe, and see you in my next episode.